Praise you, Father. You are good. Your grace and your mercy endure forever and ever is your faithfulness. Abba, not my will, but your will be done. Please remove me, forgive me, let them hear your spirit, let them receive your Ruach. Selah, Selah, Selah. Isaiah, Yeshayahu, chapter 5, verse 11. We got some woes to talk about. Some woes from the Most High. And we must understand that these woes are always to Israel first. Do you see it? Chapter 5, verse 11. Isaiah. Woe to those who get up early to pursue intoxicating liquor. And what do? They stay up late at night until the wine inflames them. And what do they got going on at their parties? They get together, they have lutes and lyres and drums and flutes and wine at their parties. But they pay no attention. They pay for things. They pay for lutes and drums and flutes and wine at their parties, but they pay no attention to how Yah works and never look at what his hands have made. For such lack of knowledge, my people go into exile. You see this verse? Yeah, that verse is somewhere else, but it's also here in Isaiah. For such lack of knowledge, my people go into exile. For lack of this knowledge, for lack of this knowledge, for lack of this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So now, because when we look at this, right, and this is stuff we know. We're drinking milk here. These chapter and verses were put together so we can reference them, just like the Most High put together for us days and nights, and for signs and seasons, so we can keep track of signs, time, I should say. Here, so woe to those who get up early to pursue intoxicating liquor, who stay up late at night until wine inflames them. They have lutes and lyres and drums and flutes and wine at their parties, but they pay no attention to Yahweh works and never look at what his hands have made. For such lack of knowledge, my people go into exile. This is also why their respected men starve. The respected men starve. The bosses ain't eating, and their masses are parched from thirst. Therefore, hell has enlarged itself and opened its limitless jaws, and down go their nobles and masses along with their noise and revels. Down go the bosses, down go the leaders and the people and all the noise that was making at their parties, right? Along with all their noise and revels, the masses are lowered, the nobles are humble, proud looks will be brought down, but the Lord of the armies is exalted through justice. Elohim, the Holy One, is consecrated through righteousness. Then lambs will be able to feed as if they were in their own pasture, and those wandering through will eat from the ruined fields of the overfed. You see this? Then, after these things happen, then there's always a woe. There's always a correction. There's always the justice that he brings to make us holy. And after that, then lambs will be able to feed as if they were in their own pasture, and those wandering through will eat from the ruined fields of the overfed. Woe. 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 Chapter 5, verse 18. Woe. This is what I've done many times in my life. This is what I'm trying to make sure I ain't doing right now in my life. Woe to those who begin pulling at transgression with a thread, but end by dragging sin along as if it were a cart rope. You know about that? Let me just turn this a little bit here. Get a better look, yeah. You know about that? I do. Woe to those who begin pulling at transgression with a thread. Pulling at it. Just tugging on a little bit of sin. Just a little bit of sin. Just busting one nut won't hurt. Just a little bit of porn. Right? Let me call old girl one time. Oh, girl, you know you want to talk to him just for a little bit. You know, just want to, he coming in town for a holiday. You want to see him, pulling at transgression with a thread. A thread to a rope is a big difference. We can take a rope and climb that sucker to the top of the gym, right? A thread to a rope. But in the beginning, we was pulling at this transgression with a thread. But in the end, we dragging the sin. In the end, we dragging. First we was pulling at it. Now we dragging it behind us. Sin. And it went from transgression to sin. Transgression to sin. And this kind of helps us understand, like what Yahshua meant when he said, when we look at that woman, we have sin in our heart. That's the transgression. That's the pulling. Once we get the phone number and we start chopping it up with it and we do this and do that, now we're dragging sin along. And what'll happen? Let's stop right there. That's very important for us to see. 18. Yeshayahu, Isaiah, woe to those who begin pulling at transgression with a thread, but end by dragging sin along as if it were a cart rope. Thread to rope, transgression to sin. Woe to you, woe to you, woe to me. Let those who have ears hear.